How's it going, everyone? Good morning or good afternoon, and welcome to this Cowboys edition of LANGERR at the Mic Live. And also welcome to my new studio here in Toronto, in my beautiful condo here in Toronto. We got the Dallas Cowboys blanket right back here. We got the Montreal Canadiens Centennial game picture up here, and a couple of Cowboys memorabilia here as well. So this will be my setup for now. In terms of my videos, both live and retrospect, and also what else I want to say? Sorry for not making a video last week, just because I was really busy settling in to my condo here in Toronto. So just didn't have a chance to post many videos, especially relating to the Cowboys, because also the Canadians were in the playoffs. So just have to cover that a little bit more. But now I'm here to recap some Dallas Cowboys stories from this week. We'll get into a little bit of Earl Thomas talk as well. So let's get right into it. So obviously early last week, and a chance to really talk about this, but Gerald McCoy unfortunately has underwent a quad tear surgery, tore his quad in practice. I believe it was last Monday. This is old news at this point, but just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So unfortunately, he's out for the season, and because he had a clause in his contract saying that the team could release him if he did suffer from a quad injury, he did get released, and he got his $3 million guaranteed, but did not get his full contracts or the incentives of the contract. So Gerald McCoy, no longer a Cowboy, unfortunately. Really unfortunate from a player standpoint. Veteran player hasn't really had a chance to be on a successful team throughout his career between Tampa and Carolina. So this might have been his chance, but just really hard to see Gerald McCoy go down with an injury like that. Just wish him all the best. And look, he's released now, but hopefully he gets another chance to be a Dallas Cowboy in the future. We'll see. But the good news is, at least from a personnel standpoint, the Cowboys right now put themselves in a position where they have a lot of depth at defensive tackle between Tyrone Crawford, who I had mentioned would likely be the starting defensive end on in terms of rundowns, right? Although signing Everson Griffin pretty much changed that. So now Tyrone Crawford pretty much is a mainstay at defensive tackle. But here's the interesting thing. I thought that Neville Gallimore would be the favorite to be the primary backup to Gerald McCoy. But it looks like right now in training camp, Tristan Hill is the guy, the second-year player out of, where is he from? Florida State, I think? Yeah, Florida State. I'll look that up later. But so Tristan Hill, who didn't get a lot of playing time last year, who had a really difficult rookie season, is now being called upon, and it looks like he's stepping up to the plate in terms of battling it out for that backup defensive tackle spot, which will likely be led by Tyrone Crawford, and also Neville Gallimore. We haven't really heard much about Neville Gallimore so far, so we'll see how that plays out. But the good news is, again, the Cowboys have a lot of depth at the three technique position, specifically where Gerald McCoy plays. In terms of the one technique, it's nice to see Dontari Poe, who was, I believe, initially on the PUP, physically unable to perform list. He's getting back into practice, and he'll be very important at that one technique position, with backed up by Antoine Woods. So again, good news is the Cowboys, from a personnel standpoint, have are really well covered at defensive tackle. Obviously, Gerald McCoy, what he brings, his experience and his level of play will be greatly missed. But at least, again, the Cowboys did a good job covering themselves up at defensive tackle. And moving along, in terms of other injuries, we'll get into the Earl Thomas stuff in a bit, but just wanted to use that as a segue to other injuries right now. So Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins at offensive tackle, and even, I believe, Brandon Knight, have been banged up in training camp, which is honestly, if you look at the two criticisms, I guess, you can have in terms of how the Cowboys have built their roster for this season and beyond. Obviously, the number one thing you point to is the fact that they didn't get the deal done with Dak Prescott. But the number two thing is, despite the fact that they've addressed depth at all other positions pretty much, maybe except for running back, but they don't really need that right now. But you look at offensive tackle, and the way it's set up, behind Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins, what is it? Brandon Knight, Cam Irving, right? Like, these are guys that if they have to come in and back those guys up, like, they're not going to be very good at blocking run blocking, and not very good at helping protect Dak Prescott's blind side or front side, right? So, so it's really concerning to see that the Cowboys don't have much of a contingency plan in terms of backing up Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins. And Tyron Smith, we know every year misses at least a game or two. As the guy is, he plays through whatever he can, right? But just with his back, his back injury history, I think that's what it is that's holding him out a little bit now. But Tyron Smith is always good to miss a game or two, and the fact that the Cowboys don't really have a good backup option or backup situation after Tyron and Lyle Collins, right, is very concerning. And obviously, Lyle Collins got into a car crash last week, and we wish him all the best and hope he recovers well from that. Just honestly, if it's concerning to see that the Cowboys don't really have much of a backup option at offensive tackle. And the other things are, you have Cheeto actually went down with, I think, an injury today. He was replaced by Trayvon Diggs in practice. And Jordan Lewis, I think, had an ankle issue last week as well, so something to monitor. But again, the good news is the Cowboys at corner have done a really good job, in terms of getting bodies in training camp and on their roster. Not to say that with the loss of Byron Jones, they still there's still that number one shutdown spot is completely up for grabs right now, right? But right now, at least the Cowboys have the bodies to back up any injuries at corner. So that means Trayvon Diggs will get more opportunities. That means that Daryl Worley, a dark horse to be a really key contributor on defense, can step in for a good opportunity. Who else? You also have, maybe Reggie Robinson, right? You never know. So you get good opportunities to these guys to step in, right? And maybe back up and play meaningful snaps in training camp. Obviously, come week 1 and 3 weeks from yesterday, obviously you want to see Cheeto there, you want to see Jordan Lewis there, but hey, I'm all for Trayvon Diggs getting opportunities to step up as well. And he's been doing really well in training camp thus far, so it's nice to see that. What else? So now here's another thing. Let's get into Earl Thomas talk right now, because those are pretty much the key injuries that have gone on so far. Let's get into some Earl Thomas talk right now. So Earl Thomas gets into a fight, I think, with a fellow teammate of the Baltimore Ravens yesterday or in the last couple of days, Chuck Clark, I think it was. So the Baltimore Ravens decided that that was it for Earl Thomas. They said they release or trade him, which pretty much says that when a team says that they're going to trade or release a guy, that means there's no chance of him being traded. That means he's going to be released right away. And yesterday on Sunday, the Baltimore Ravens have released Earl Thomas, which now if you go back to 2017 when Earl Thomas made a claim to the Cowboys or made a request to the Cowboys that they come get him, right, as soon as Seattle kicks him to the curb, right? And then so between that and then the trade negotiations or the trade talk in his contract here in 2018 with the Seahawks, then he goes down with that injury in 2018, and then 2019 offseason, he was a free agent, and there was talk of him maybe coming to the Cowboys, but then he went to the Ravens because the Cowboys would offer him as expensive as a contract, and now rightfully so. You see why. And now, as you can see, look, he turns in a Pro Bowl season in 2019 with the Ravens, but then got to some off-field issues a little bit during the lockdown, which I won't get into too much. And now he's starting fights with his teammates, or he's having issues with his teammates. So right now, Earl Thomas obviously is heavily favored to become a Dallas Cowboy sometime either today or the next or this week. But should he become a Dallas Cowboy? Here's my take. So right now, the Cowboy situation at safety is obviously of Xavier Woods, Clinton Dix, but what's also interesting to see or to hear is I think Darian Thompson is winning the battle at strong safety over Clinton Dix. Xavier Woods is going to be the guy at free safety right now, but obviously outside of Earl Thomas, but I think Darian Thompson is actually winning the battle at strong safety, so interesting to see that. But now, in terms of Earl Thomas, if Earl Thomas comes into the picture right now, well, obviously one of the best free safeties in the game, right? That would probably mean that Xavier Woods can play the box, the strong safety role, or even the nickel position, the slot position. He could rotate in maybe with Jordan Lewis or Anthony Brown, who I haven't mentioned yet, who's also been playing pretty well at camp so far. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe there's going to be a rotation at nickel corner, right? Xavier Woods, like I said, is capable of playing that spot, or whether the strong safety spot goes to Xavier Woods or Darian Thompson, which I believe it will go to Xavier Woods. But in terms of actually signing Earl Thomas and bringing him into the building, so I believe, look, if you have a chance to sign a Pro Bowl free safety like Earl Thomas, a 9-time Pro Bowler, I believe, in his career since 2010, right? You have a chance to bring a guy like that and you bring him in, even if he has some off the field issues. Like I'm hesitant to do so, but here's the thing: if it's an incentive based deal that you can get out of easily, right? Like you do it without question, right? So just like Everson Griffin, the Cowboys had an opportunity with Everson Griffin, they brought him in, right? Like same thing with Earl Thomas. You have an opportunity right now, so give it a shot. I would do some research, right? I would want to inspect and investigate his character in terms of why he's having the off-field issue during the pandemic happened with his fiance or girlfriend, whatever it was, and why he had an issue with his teammate. I want to inspect that a little bit, but still, if he's in this remotely the same place that he was back in 2017, where he's like, Cowboys, come get me. I want to play for Dallas. I want to be a Dallas Cowboy. Come back home to Texas, right? Want to wear the star on my helmet, yada yada. Then you bring him in, and you give it a shot. And if he causes problems, well, you release him, right? Put him on an incentive-based deal and release him and move forward, right? And again, I was a little bit more hesitant yesterday as soon as I heard the fight, but it's grown on me that if you have a chance to sign this guy, you have a chance to bring in a 9-time Pro Bowl safety at a position of need, especially, then you bring him in. Why not? Go for it all, right? And that's, again, if anything has been different among the many things that have been different in this coaching staff and the way they've built this roster compared to years past, is that they have been taking chances and risks with bringing in a lot of players or experienced players and successful players at positions of need instead of just relying on the guys in house. So let's see if that continues with Earl Thomas or not. Now let's get into some guys that are playing well, guys that are performing really well in camp. Along those lines of bringing guys that have been successful in the league and that are experienced and bring them in positions of need. Alvin Smith has been a stud, from what I hear, and from what we've seen. Tyron Smith or Dak Prescott. I mean, I know he was giving Tyron Smith issues in when Tyron Smith was practicing, but Dak Prescott says he's been the real deal so far, and DeMarcus Lawrence has been really getting along well with him. So it looks like between the three-headed monster now at defensive end or at edge rusher between DeMarcus Lawrence, Alvin Smith, and Everson Griffin. Look out! That's going to be really, really fun to watch at the battle at defensive end for the Cowboys right now. Alvin Smith keeps it up, and he was even being lined up as a nose tackle, and the Cowboys went into I believe a pass rushing set of a 3-man line, and I think either a 3-man line, 2 or 3 linebacker set, whatever it was. Alvin Smith was playing the nose with DeMarcus Lawrence, and I think it was Everson Griffin on the other edge as well. So very, very cool to see Alvin Smith looking no worse for wear after being out of the league for 3 seasons. And that's just, again, and Jim Tomsula praising him, of course, as well as defensive line coach who worked with him in San Francisco as well. Jim Tomsula said that Alvin Smith himself got him a pay raise. So, so just really cool to see Alvin Smith performing well thus far. Who else? We got CeeDee Lamb, of course. CeeDee Lamb has been very impressive. There's been a lot of videos on social media of him making really cool one-hand catches and sideline catches. So if CeeDee Lamb just is the talk is that CeeDee Lamb has been worth the hype so far, which is very encouraging to see that and to hear that. So let's see how that translates into the regular season. Let's hope he keeps it up in training camp and that, like I said, translates to the regular season. Jalen Smith has been a really nice surprise as well. Or maybe not surprise, but just it's nice to see him, to hear good things about him thus far in this training camp so far, because him having been moved from the Mike linebacker spot to the right outside linebacker or weak side linebacker spot means that maybe he'll be more free, right, to read what's in front of him, to play sideline, to come downhill. But what's also really encouraging to see is that his struggles in the past have been in pass coverage, right? He's been exposed in pass coverage, right, whether it's zone or even man to man. Right, as a linebacker, that's been his biggest weakness of late, but he's been making plays in coverage in training camp so far. So it's really, let's see if he keeps that up. Let's see again if it translates to the regular season, but very encouraging to see, one of the leaders of the defense and we have a 1 or 2 Pro Bowler in the last couple of years. 2018 was his best year. Let's see if 2019 was a bit of a rough year for him. Let's see if 2020 is going to be like 2018 or better for Jalen Smith. Who else? Let's see. Now guys on the roster / bubbles, rookies that have impressed, right? Trayvon Diggs has been making a lot of plays as well. There's been a lot of clips of him breaking up some really some good passing plays, right? He's been making plays on the ball quite often, and it's nice to see that. Especially if Cheeto's hurt and if Jordan Lewis are going to be struggling with injuries, then it's going to be really encouraging to see Trayvon Diggs step up and make the most of his opportunities that he gets in terms of increased reps. So, and like I said, I think Trayvon Diggs is the most important rookie of this class, even though he's the second round pick, because of their situation at corner, the fact that they have so many that Jordan Lewis and Cheeto will be free agents next year. Trayvon Diggs, I would say, is the most important draft pick of this draft class, right? And it's nice to see him performing well in training camp so far. So who else you had? Bradley Anae also. Bradley Anae has been, just in the last 2 days has been a force in terms of I think the 2-minute drills. He just even though he's playing against the second and third teams and not with the ones, he's been making plays, and that's really encouraging to see. So already between Everson Griffin, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Alvin Smith, it's going to be cool to see if that fourth defensive end is going to be Durant Armstrong, or if it's going to be Bradley Anae, or even if you reinstate Randy Gregory, what is that going to mean for Bradley Anae? So really encouraging to see Bradley Anae playing well in this training camp as well, of course. And Tristan Hill. I mean, he's a second-year player at this point, but the fact that Gerald McCoy went down and Tristan Hill being one of the guys that have to be called upon to step up to fill in for the Gerald McCoy injury, and that he's been playing well in those increased reps and opportunities is really encouraging. And I hope he keeps it up, and I hope he solidifies himself as a second-year player on the defensive line at the 3 technique position. That's Tristan Hill. Francis Bernard now, undrafted free agent. I said in a couple of videos I made a few weeks ago that if the undrafted rookies, the undrafted free agents the Cowboys signed are unlikely to get a lot of opportunities that they might have received otherwise in non-COVID situations, right? Any other year where they have mini camp and OTAs and then a proper training camp and preseason games to show what they got, right? I said the undrafted free agents would not have gotten a chance that they would have otherwise in other non-COVID-19 situations. But that being said, Francis Bernard has been making a lot of plays in training camp, and I predicted that Francis Bernard would be one of the guys to watch out for based on what I've heard from the Cowboys media and draft experts and all that. So let's see. Is he going to make the team? I don't know. I think he's at least going to make the practice squad. But if he does, then you have to worry about other teams maybe claiming him off the Cowboys practice squad. So let's see if it translates to him earning a roster spot. It'll be really interesting to see. But low key, the Cowboys are solid at linebacker. I mean, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, Leighton Vander Esch, of course, Joe Thomas, Justin March, who I'm missing. Is there anyone else? Luke Gifford. And Francis Bernard, they're really strong at linebacker, and anyone else, I don't know if I'm missing anyone else, but yeah, they're really good at linebacker right now, and let's hope it translates to a good performance in the regular season. My only concern, I would say, thus far, besides the injuries, of course, is the fact that we haven't heard much from our Canadian boy, Neville Gallimore. Haven't heard much from Neville Gallimore. So is he, look, is he getting reps? Yes. Is he healthy? I assume so, right? But has he been making plays? We haven't really heard about that much in terms of how he's been doing in training camps. So look, let's see if look, he's a rookie, right? He's a first year player, so let's see, maybe he's hitting a bit of a rookie wall. I don't know, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine within as the season goes along. And even if he isn't this year, look, if Tristan Hill is good and Tyron Crawford is healthy and doing what Tyron Crawford does best, then that means Neville Gallimore doesn't really need to be that great of a player in his first year. He needs to be good, needs to contribute, right? But look, if Tyron Crawford gets hurt and if Tristan Hill doesn't, if his strong training camp doesn't translate to a strong performance in the regular season, well, that just means that we need more out of Neville Gallimore. We need to hear more from Neville Gallimore. We need him to make more plays, which I'm sure he will eventually. But we'll see how that translates to the season. And then lastly, I'm going to end this video with this live stream with Mike McCarthy's Super Bowl comments. He said how if you're not in it to win the Super Bowl, like why are you really in this business? And that just shows, I think, how Mike McCarthy is just the best head coaching choice for the Dallas Cowboys in this offseason. He could have gone with one of those guys out of college, Lincoln Riley, maybe even Matt Rule, who ended up going to Carolina. But I really think that given the situation the Cowboys are in going through the season, the fact that their window to win a championship is now, right? Mike McCarthy is just with his experience in Green Bay, even dealing with the controversy between Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre early on in his career, winning a Super Bowl with Green Bay and also getting to the playoffs almost every single year and getting to the conference championship numerous times. Like his experience, and especially now with COVID-19, like an unfamiliar situation, right? Imagine Matt Rule, imagine Lincoln Riley, imagine bringing in a college or rookie head coach into this situation right now of COVID-19. Like Mike McCarthy, I think has passed so far with flying colors, right? And I just think that he's the right leader, the right head coach, and the right guy for the Dallas Cowboys, and just so much. It's just such a relief after 10 years of Jason Garrett to see Mike McCarthy being the guy for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm excited for this year. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see. Look, in the next couple of days, the Cowboys going to bring in Earl Thomas. We don't know, but hey, let's see if the Cowboys can remain can keep their health, right? Can stay healthy. Can learn the scheme of the new offensive principles that Mike McCarthy wants to bring in. The defensive principles of Mike Nolan and Jim Tomsula. They've been generating a lot of turnovers in camp so far. So yeah, let's see what it brings to the regular season. And yeah, if you like this video, then mash the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. This has been a LANGERR at the Mic Live Cowboys edition, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.